Hello. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hi. Yeah, quite a day. I didn't expect this, but I'm actually on for the third time today, and I did a little switcheroo. I'm going to do the topic that I planned for tonight, either tomorrow night or the following day. I'll see. I'll let you all know. I have interview scheduled tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, and actually has to do with the topic we're going to talk about tonight, as far as exposing PDF files. So, hi. This came up. I'll explain why I decided to do this tonight for several reasons. I did do a very quick live stream before this. I'm not going to discuss it here. If you want to talk about it, you can email me or whatever. But I just want you to know there are some new blocked words on in my chat, and you can probably tell by watching my previous quick 5-minute live stream. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We're moving on, and let me explain what we're doing tonight. Okay. Some of you know that it's been a very long, arduous, and sometimes perilous journey, navigating through this whole, SBTV slash ex Scientologist thing, all the stuff that we do here. And there's been a lot. There's been a real pest problem. There's been a real troll problem, and they've been very interesting because when they first kind of came on the scene was around the time, and this was before the after flap that we call it. This was in, I believe it was either September or October of 2023. So my channel was only a few months old. I was approached by somebody from Discord. Her name was Michelle Carpenter. She had been doing this behind the scenes expose on a mod. They called her Goldie, and she modded for many channels. And she seemed fine. I mean, she was a little bit gatekeepy and a little like forceful and stuff. I let her mod on mine. She modded for everybody, and she was great. She's very professional. You would never know that she had any like political stands or anything. Like, nobody, she never talked about it, and she never let on. And she was a mod for anybody. She never discriminated against any of the second gens. Some of them are in the LGBTQ community. I mean, none of us picked up on it that I know. So there was a troll called ZDT, Zero Dark Tony. He's still sort of around, I think. Maybe we'll do a documentary on him someday. But so there was him. He found uncovered, I think it was called a Gab account, which is kind of like a Facebook thing, but it's very obscure. I guess it's very political. And she was sharing some really nasty things, very transphobic, very homophobic, and I don't go for that. Like I said to somebody earlier today, I was raised. I think I even commented on a video that I'll talk about later, but I commented that yes, I was raised in a to not like gay people, which is terrible. And I don't feel that way anymore at all, at all. And so when I found out about that, I saw the receipts and all that, and I was like, I just told Goldie, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't have you on my channel. I was pressured by Michelle and Pete Jensen and some of their other Discord friends to basically, expose her and pressure all the other creators to not let her on their channel. I refused to do that. What I did do is when it came out, I allowed people to talk about it in my chat. Some creators didn't, which was fine. Some creators decided to excuse her. Some decided not to talk about it. Some decided whatever, and so that's their prerogative. It's their channel, right? So I did what I felt was right at the time. Now there was another creator that they still. It's funny how this group of trolls still defend this person who refused to excuse Goldie and even had merch with her, with her insignia, whatever on it, and Goldie merch and all this. And he never said a word, which I thought was interesting that they excused him, but Aaron became like anathema, and so did a lot of other people, became like pariahs to them, right? So then fast forward when the whole thing happened with the Aftermath Foundation. These people who became at that point full-blown trolls started to make channels, started to trash me and some of my friends, and I started speaking out because I had a stake in. I had done several fundraisers for the Aftermath Foundation. I didn't like how it was being handled, how this whole thing was being handled. And again, I'm not going to rehash the whole thing. It really had very little to do with Aaron. It had to do with how Mike Rinder and the other board members were treating the stakeholders that had given of their time and resources and money. So that's the problem I had. But of course, it was spun like I was this terrible person. I was the stan for, Aaron or whatever. And it just snowballed from there, where there was this, then when the SBTV Foundation was formed, and there was a fake SBTV Foundation channel made. And there were all these other, things popping up. True Clear Media, we're going to talk about that. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, because it's relevant at the moment. Not for long. They ain't going to be relevant, But yeah, so these things started popping up. Okay. There's a lot. So I'm skipping over a whole bunch of crap. All right. They made it very clear that they were huge Aftermath Foundation fans and fans of Mike Rinder. And then Stephanie Hutchinson came into the on the scene and just stirred the pot and made it even worse, And I'll admit, it wasn't my finest moment because I gave in to a dark side that I don't usually give into, but I kind of got into some of the making fun of her and parodies too, because she was just so effing vile, So I kind of, pulled back from that. I don't do that anymore. I try not to call people names. It's very hard sometimes, especially when they're so vile. But yeah, so then that happened. Well, very interestingly, while this was all happening and they were digging into my life, and they came up with virtually nothing because I'm so effing boring, So they would make stuff up. They would try to make me associated with other people and make things up that way and all that. Well, they messed up big time at one point, because sometime in, I believe it was October, late October, early November, Mark and Claire of Blown for Good came out, and Claire is the president of the Aftermath Foundation. They came out and they did a stream on their personal channel regarding the Aftermath Foundation, which they had criticized Aaron for doing, but whatever, they can put their face on a billboard, but Aaron can't. No, Aaron could never do that. So anyways, so that happened. So they came out and they started thanking these people like our friend Pete Jensen and some other people. And there were some clues. It was like not definitive, but their graphics were the same. Some of the things that were like, So we started to think, like, these people that they're thinking, they seem a lot like, they seem like they operate the same way as these trolls that are constantly trolling us. Well, what happened was Pete Jensen, he screwed up because he hits the bottle quite a bit. The one time that I streamed with him, he showed up drunk off his ass, So that's his Achilles heel. He drunk dialed Aaron a couple times and was like, and a lot of you have heard the tapes. It's on Aaron's channel. He was like, Aaron, can you stop tracking our channel? Because he had done some copyright because they were like stealing his material. So like, can you stop, blah, 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 and then asking him to stop striking our channel, he said. And then again, he did another video where he was interviewing on the street DOA, and he took credit for that channel again. And DOA has been known to basically like, yeah, he did. He took credit for it. So if he's going to take credit for that SPTV Foundation thing like twice or even more than that, I'm going to give him some credit. Okay. Good job, Pete. Good job, Pete. Okay, so fast forward to this whole Tommy Reese thing, mostly Tommy. He's been exposed as a convicted child SAR, um, in a stairwell. You've heard the story. If you haven't, go to my channel. I've done a couple of videos on it. I showed the receipts. I read them to you. It's all there. It's all there. Okay. There is a group of guys. I'm not a guy and I'm not in the group, but I am friendly with them. I don't know them really well. I don't know about their past. I don't know the first thing about tattoos, or I know nothing. Okay. All I know is that they speak some pretty serious truth bombs at times. Not my style. I don't have that style of, you know, language, right? The language. But I have mad respect that Knife Hoarder comes out, shows his face. His methods are a little brutal at times, but he does speak the truth. Okay. Now, I thought this was interesting that some of those very trolls who hate me and hate Hef and hate some of my other friends, they hate Susie Oberholtz. They blocked us all from Reddit and all that. And there's one called True Clear Media. She goes by Blue Ridge Speaks, I believe, on and then on Facebook, she's Jamie Thomas. And yeah, it's out there. It's public. Okay. So, she can try to strike this all she wants. I will contest it because I'm not doxing anybody. So yeah, she's public. She's out there as Jamie Thomas, and she befriended or tried to befriend Knife Hoarder. Okay. She was always like this whole love bombing thing, like, you're my best friend, you're my BFF, and blah, blah. I knew that she was just doing that because she likes to use people, and Pete does it, and so does everybody. The ones especially that don't like to show their face, they like to warm up to people who have the balls to show their face and try to use their they call it platform. They try to use their platform to further their own agenda. So all of a sudden, it was that like enemies, right? The enemy of your enemy is your friend. But Knife Hoarder does his own thing. So he refused to shit on me and Susie. And hey, I give him a lot of respect for that because, it's happened in other ways before to me. But yeah, he refused to do it because he's like, hey, you're not gonna tell me who to be friends with. And it's not like we're even close. It's just he refused to shit on me, and he gave me some props for the effort I put in. And the same with Susie. He gave her some props for the effort she was putting in to expose this BS, especially Brett Miller. Exposing chomos is not a bad thing unless you sympathize with them. And there's a picky and choosy thing going on because people don't like what Brett Miller did to a 15-year-old in a stairwell. But somehow, is it okay what Dave Linton of Echoplex Media, whose channel is back up? I don't see any videos on it yet, but it's okay what he did to children. And it was alleged, and this is why this whole thing kicked off. It was alleged that he was preying upon underage, mostly boys, but preying upon and having underage relationships with them, relations, if you know what I mean, physical relations. And it was noted by actually somebody that I'm going to interview tomorrow. She has been on Susie's channel. Her channel is Nova Haven. And she 22 years ago saw him in a chat over a period of time, and she realized what he was about. This is a pattern. This isn't just a one-time thing. This guy is sick, very, very sick. And she saw it, and she ended up posing as a teenage girl, and he sent her some nasty pictures. She went to the police, and she'll say it in her own, explain it in her own words tomorrow. And I have so much respect for her. And I'm so glad that she had even a little bit of closure, knowing that taking it to the police, it must have kicked off an investigation, because even though they didn't follow up with her and tell her that he was caught and that he actually went to federal prison, he confessed, which I'll show you the receipts of that. And that because she was so brave, she came out and told the police and showed the evidence, and they were like, this guy's a problem. So they didn't follow up with her, but they did the whole investigation. There's a whole affidavit explaining it, and they put together like a sting. And he said in his own words that he confessed. He said, these documents that I have are authentic, and that he downplayed it. It's like, oh, the details aren't important. I burned them. Well, I have it. it is important. It's important to the person it happened to, you know. So I want to show you this, and this is all alleged as far as the what I feel is a pattern with these. I used to call them the Discord trolls. Now I call them the Reddit trolls and or the Aftermath Foundation trolls. They're all trolls, right? But there seems to be this really weird common thread that they stick together, and I'll show you the receipts. They kind of stick up for each other, and they help each other with their channels. And if they didn't know at the time what Dave Eckelplex was about, they knew afterwards, and they were still defending him. And it's absolutely disgusting. And they also would defend Mike Rinder, who I'm not saying he's, that he ever did anything like that. I don't believe he did. But I believe in my heart of hearts, and I believe that this is going to be proven at some point, that he allegedly knew about dozens, if not hundreds, of child SA cases while he was in Scientology, and he covered them up. And one of his close friends, what's his name, George? Amy Scobie's husband. Oh, Matt Pesh. Matt Pesh on video was saying that there was a fund to like basically separate and get PDF files away from their victims, and there was a fund set up to pay for plane fare and all that, right? The reason I'm having a hard time talking about it is because I have a hard time talking about it. And he even kind of like laughed while he said it. It was absolutely disgusting. So you've got all this going on, and you have this really weird dividing line, that these trolls, they're against people like Liz Gale and people like Serge Delmar. It's literally Serge and Aaron and a lot of other people that are fighting against this whole, pedo protector thing, right? So they're fighting against that. But these trolls, they're not fighting against Scientology. They're fighting against the ones that are not sympathizers to this situation, in my opinion. So it's gross. OSA slush fund to remove, Chomos out of the jurisdiction of their crimes reported by Matt Pesh. Yeah, exactly. So to say that Mike Rinder didn't know, I find that extremely, extremely hard to believe. So let me show you. Let me take you through this a little bit. And I have got a lot of videos about these guys. If you want to go back around October, November, there's quite a few. And I'm going to play a little clip of a short that I did. Well, I'm going to play you a short clip of a video that I did with Aaron concerning this. Okay, let me pull this up. So these are part of the documents that I have about Eckelplex. I'm not going to show the affidavit because I feel like that's a little more personal and really hard to deal with. But there's this basically says that he was convicted. He had confessed of child porn, possession of child porn, and he called it child SA material, so abuse materials. It's still, I don't think there's no nice way to say it. And there's no euphemism that lightens it, in my opinion. And there's another euphemism that actually makes me absolutely ill that we're going to talk about. Okay, so there's that. And then let me see. Oh, I gotta minimize it a little bit. Okay. And that's the imprisonment. He was sentenced to 6.5 months, 3 years probation. He did end up violating his probation. I have a whole, video on that, on the notes that the probation officer, he was being lazy and uncooperative and ended up back in court. So, with an ankle bracelet. Okay. Now, when I found out about this and I got the receipts and it was confirmed that he was 100,000% the guy. Okay. I went into his channel and he had been doing videos with this woman he calls the media wench. And they're basically, we're pulling up videos of mine and of Aaron's and just just basically trashing us the whole time, picking on us, mocking our guests, mocking Hef and Alan and other people. It was just pathetic. And he basically, he did say it was because he wanted to get to 1,000 subs. And he's been on the internet, well, for 20, 30 years, but he's been in this space for 8 whole years and he can't even get 1,000 subs. So that's comforting. That's very comforting. Okay, so you can see here, one of his, you might recognize this. One of his mods are none other than Pete Jensen. There he is. There he is again. You might recognize this lovely creature, Mrs. J. And you know what? I'm not going to focus too much on her because, to her credit, she's been pretty silent. So I'm not gonna. I already beat her down pretty bad, so I'm gonna leave her alone. But I just want to show you that. And there I am. You know, they're just mocking me and all that. So yeah, maybe yeah. F you, Mrs. J. Come to think of it. Okay. Now this was on November 15th, 2024. So not very long ago, or about the time that I was doing these videos, revealing what the bullshit, right? And I happened to notice that on Mike Renner's channel, he happened to have his subscribers public, and Echoplex Media was one of the channels that Mike Renner subscribed to. Now, at this point, Mike had done 7 videos, and basically towards the very end of his life, and you could tell he was very, very sick. It was just so sad, so sad. Instead of talking to his family or leaving a legacy of let's fight Scientology or I'm passing the mantle, no, all he did was trash Aaron and some of the others. You know, he mentioned Natalie, he mentioned Liz Gale, I believe, a whole bunch of them. And that was just very unfortunate, very sad. And so, yeah, very unfortunate. This is just weeks before he passed away. And this guy, we call him Pedalplex, but Echoplex Media, Dave Litton, did a video called Cults and Satanic Panic, Dave's Thoughts on Mike Rinder and a Message to SPTV, which I actually did not sit through. I did scan the transcript, I believe. Okay, so after that, in the comments, you have Mike Rinder saying, "Thank you for doing this, Dave. I just saw it. I'm still here," meaning still on this earth. "I'm still here, and this sort of support gives me strength." And it was nothing but hate towards his enemies. Okay. Is there a way of contacting you directly? So this kind of no-name person, even though he's been around for 8 years, he's got a record of child porn, which I'm sure Mike did not know about. The rest of us didn't know about it either. But because he's trolling people that Mike doesn't like, it's giving him strength even at the end of his life, which is very sad. Very, very sad. You know. And then Ashley Winters, she might be Media Wench. I'm not sure. Hi, Mike. I'm Dave's co-host. Yeah, I assume she is. I'm trying to get you our email address. YouTube is so sensitive about it. And she said I sent you a message. Okay. So then there's that, you know, I don't know what came of that. So there's that correspondence. Okay. So after, let me set this up a little bit. So after it came out, he tried to get ahead of it before I did a video. Other people did some videos, and he said something on Rumble, which nobody really saw on Rumble, or not Rumble, Twitch. Was it Twitch? One of those. I think it was Twitch. He's on Twitch still, and unfortunately, there's young kids on there, which is really sick and really sad. So he did that video where he basically was like, "Oh, well, the details aren't important, and I've moved on and I've reformed," or whatever, and he just kind of sloughed it off. I wasn't having it. A lot of people were not having it, except for the same people that are constantly harping on other people, rightfully so, against Brett Miller there, but also me and Aaron and a lot of other people that they don't like Mike Rinder. I think it all has to do with Mike Rinder. Why? I don't know. Why? I have some suspicions. Okay. So This, unfortunately, I didn't catch all of the comments. I think I have them somewhere. I got to ask somebody else, maybe my husband, I sent them to. I think I do have them, but this basically gives you the idea. I was running out of time. So Queen Dayton says, okay, over on Toxic Reddit, True Clear Media is saying he's not a PDF file. I can't believe how low those sorry losers will go. And I said, yes, TCM is a pathetic, deranged old bat. And I'm sticking, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Brett Miller and Dave Litton are both child SA predators and aka homos. Shame on anyone who defends either of these convicted child predators. And I unfortunately didn't get the 5 comments, but I do remember there's a lot of witnesses that said that Jamie Thomas, aka True Clear Media, aka Blue Ridge Speaks, said he's not a PDF file. What do you call him? That's ridiculous. Okay. Echoplex Media, she's saying this to him. Why is your statement not uploaded to YouTube for all to hear? I don't condone his 2004 behavior. Neither does he. Yeah, right. Because he said, oh, the details doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. According to his statement. Bull. However, not one of his critics has an inch of higher ground to stand on for their own deplorable acts. Okay. And then she, in the comments, I do remember, she said, I tortured my children. Okay. I tapped one on the butt with a wooden spoon once, and I put a little bit of red hot sauce on their tongue, which she loves it. She laughs about it. But yeah, that's the horrible, deplorable, torturous acts that I did. Show me where I or anybody else that I'm friends with has a conviction, let alone even a charge, even a whisper of child SA or any kind of anything like that. I'm so fucking boring, guys. I've never even had a speeding ticket. So yeah, show me this. Okay. Not one of his critics has an inch of higher ground. And you are defending a convicted child pred. Shame, 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 shame. Now, I want to talk about something, and I was going to, how I like to show receipts. I like to look things up. I like to have a official definition. I like to lay it out, let you guys see, read, think about it, and decide on your own. I looked up what MAP means, MAP, which is called minor. You know what I mean, right? It's on my thumbnail. I couldn't, guys. I can't even get it off my tongue because I know that it's not okay, at least in my book. There's some sick SOB to think that that's a thing. Then my husband would say, okay, I won't say anything about a wood chipper, but there might be something that he said about a wood chipper. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I'm seeing a pattern here. And I don't have a problem. Like, I'm not racist. I have no problem with anyone's sexual orientation, all that. But when you're preying on children, that's where I draw the fucking line. And it happened to me. So don't tell me that this is okay. It's not okay. And the pattern of behavior with these people that I'm talking about, most of them are nameless and faceless, but I'm dragging them out into the light, guys. It is absolutely disgusting. So don't tell me that just because I happen to be, acquaintances with somebody who was in prison and had tattoos that he regrets and doesn't identify as. I've never seen any or heard anything from him that remotely, was reminiscent of anything like that. And so who the hell do you think you are? and to drag me into it, go for it, baby, because I'm like Beetlejuice, you know? I'm like Beetlejuice. Don't fuck with me because I'm not in the mood. I am not in the mood, especially when it comes to protecting children. And I'm all for helping with this whole cause. And I made something public that I had made private out of respect for Mike Render's family. And if you haven't seen Aaron's video that he did tonight, he played the Canra video that George Massey, our very own Giorgio, our very own Kelly Copter, and our very own Liz Gale put together about child SA and it being covered up in Scientology. And that was wonderfully done. Aaron played it, and then he talked about some plans and some issues. Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. No, absolutely not. Thank you for putting that, though, because I just couldn't even say it. I couldn't say it. Thank you, Jenna. Echoplex has been reported to Twitch because Marilyn did a show like this, and that's where the kids are. Thank you. Thank you for reporting that. Rabbit reads the affidavit. Yeah, she does on her channel. And I think Susie did as well. I just couldn't do it, guys. But they're very strong. I appreciate that. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you. Let's see if I can do this. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull this up here. Okay, one second. Let me share this. Okay, this was, I had the date, I want to say November, middle of November sometime.
Say that personality conflicts aside, he did this wrong to me, he did this wrong to me aside, there's one thing that will be Mike Render's legacy. And if he wants to do another video before he dies, this is what it should be. Mike Render, your job as a board member of Child USA and the so-called leader of the anti-Scientology movement was to make sure that when that 2-year look-back period opened up in California, where all statute of limitations would no longer apply for cases involving child sex abuse, your job was to make sure every single Scientologist in the world that you could find who had a child sex abuse claim in the state of California was given the opportunity to bring a lawsuit. You made sure no one filed a suit. Say that personality.
And if you want to hear more, I got the full video, and also Aaron touched on it tonight and had a lot to say about the Mike Render connection. So yeah. Hey, Sharona, glad you're here. No worries about ever being late. Nobody's ever late. It's just whenever you pop in. Appreciate you. Okay. George has a channel. It's called, and George, can you please put your link up? It's called Literally No One SP. And if you haven't seen his videos, I would highly recommend them. And I think it's time to view them again. I think it's time to make this happen. You know, we want to protect the children. Aaron did a great job with his live. Yeah, it's for the children. Yeah. Amy, agree with your hubby. I don't disagree either. That's absolutely disgusting. Jenna from Cali, thank you for millions of kids on Twitch playing video games. Yeah. Yeah. And I really am so thankful to Nova that I'll be on with tomorrow. She's very, very brave, and people like that. I don't know where we'd be without them, you know. So I want to be here to support them. I look at myself as like a support person. There's people on the front lines, and Giorgio is on the front lines too, because he's got that channel. He works his butt off putting those videos out, and I really appreciate that. And I want to raise the profile of all of these efforts as much as I can. So let me hear from you. Thank you all for being here. Oh, we gotta stop meeting like this. I hate this topic. It's the worst, but it's necessary, I believe. Constance June. Michelle was upset because she could not mod for everyone. She wanted to be everyone's mod. Yeah, I believe so too. Yeah, she showed a lot of those clout chasey signs. And she was, and again, I have no problem with people being whatever they, believing whatever they want as long as they're not hurting other people. And so I'm not like anti, I don't know, they call it woke or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's fine if you want to be liberal. But if you want to be so extreme where you're attacking people because they don't believe in this map thing, I have no use for you. Absolutely. I want to throw up all over you. And I won't talk about any other thing I talked about what my husband said. But yeah, there's no okay. It's not okay. That's not okay. That is a really disgusting extremist view. And extremes are bad, and that's what we're fighting here is extremes. Cults are extremes. A lot of this behavior we see in course of control are extremes, and this map thing is an extreme that is one of the worst extremes I've ever seen. So don't even come at me with someone's old tattoos from when they were a kid or a 20-year-old, that they regret. F off on that one. Hey, Dylan, ZDT mysteriously finds everything. So obviously Scientology is feeding it to him to stir up shit. Yeah, I believe that. Yep. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, my friend, for everything you do. Appreciate you. Hey, Journey. Question: where does the line and how is the line drawn between a person's view and agreeing to disagree? Where to split from person from behavior, or can you distinguish between the two? Not sure what that's in reference to. Where's the line? How is it the line drawn between person's view, agreeing to disagree? Okay, well, yeah, people can believe what they want as long as they're not hurting people, my friends or me, or I think you're selling me. Why don't I mind my own business? I don't know. You can email me if you want to have that discussion. Yeah, I guess the line's different from everybody. But if someone is believing in this and doing videos about me, get me to like, who's this guy? Or why are they attacking me for no reason? And then this whole connection, yeah, I don't know. To each his own, I guess. People don't like my channel, they don't have to watch it. That's all. I don't know how to answer that. I really don't, honestly. George Massey, that was their Tiny Org campaign. That's right. And website that Maria and Pete had done for them. They thanked them on a live. Gotcha. Constance June. The fake SBTV is responsible for that bad Discord group, the Scroll Busters, making fun of the Scroll with the Z second gens and nasty faux SBTV website. Yeah. I don't know what you're saying, George. You have to send me a private chat. Yeah. Well, and our friend there, Pete Jensen, has taken responsibility for that. Whether I think he's the only one, I think there's probably, I don't see him as the brains of the operation. I honestly don't. So I think there's somebody else, but if he wants to take credit for it, I'm going to raise his profile completely. Oh, deceased. Okay. Sorry. It must be late at night because I'm just reading things the way they are. Okay. Oh, yes, they do. Pete is always in Mark and Claire's lives. They always shout him out. Yeah, they shout out some other pretty vile creatures too. I agree. I guess that's where the line is. If somebody just displays the most disgusting behavior, they deserve to be called out. I guess that's what, that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. I don't agree to disagree about that. I disagree. Okay. And Pete's trolls others and move to live with Aaron's. Yes, move to live. Yes. Pete moved to live with that crazy lady in the video. I'll say it. TCL, made all kinds of excuses for Dave Litton. Yeah. Jamie Thomas is one vile person. She is sick. She's effing sick. A 72-year-old woman that is just devoted to that, like, come on, and has the nerve to attack people that were kind to her, that and to put ultimatums and all this crap, and then have the nerve to defend somebody like that, somebody who is hurting children and is a predator, a convicted, I'll say it, Chomo, convicted. Yuck. Gross. George Massey. Mike Rinder reached out to Litton in the last months of his life. Mike ran cover for Chomos for over 30 years and then blocked illegal challenges as late as 2023 on the board of Child USA. Yep, I can't add to that. And that is despicable and terrible. Because it's June. Those who propped Dave up the most deleted any comment or thread about David. In my mind, that is helping him cover it up. These are the same people who call the people they don't like out for less, much less. Yeah. For a little drop of hot sauce, kiss my biscuits. The details are disgusting. Absolutely. George, Mike Rinder knew better than anyone the threat that Canberra posed to him and many others in Scientology. Scientology underwent a major scrubbing mission in 1997 when Rinder was head of OSA. I can hear the next video, George. Yeah. Constance, I saw the Twitch. It was gross. He admitted people with trauma reached it. People with SA trauma reached out to him. Yes, I know what you're saying. Reached out to him. They were confiding in him. He never told them. Yeah, that is so dangerous. That people that actually had suffered that, going to a perpetrator like that and confessing. He probably got the, from it, as my kids would say, rocks off, from it. That's disgusting. Oh, I just can't. Tom also only showed one document about Dave, said it was not that bad. Oh, TCM, I'm sorry, I thought it said Tom. TCM only showed one document about Dave, said it was not that bad. She did not show the really bad ones that Marilyn had, and not the ones that showed that he wanted special treatment. Yeah, he was just a vile. Ugh. And he wasn't, he said that the system and his parole officers and stuff were his biggest advocates. No, they were critics. They were like, this guy, he's entitled, he's lazy, he's full of himself, he's completely not reformed. He needs to be brought before the court again. And I have a video about that where I read it. Amy, they are degenerates and not savable. They need to be kept away from children. What do you want to call it? MAP or whatever. It's disgusting. It's wrong. It's dangerous, and keep them away from children. Keep them away from children. My Sharona, amazing videos by George about this. Yes, absolutely. Very well done. I'll put this up again. Aaron did a great job with his live. Yep. Anna from Canada. Ecoplex went to prison because he was trying to convince a child boy to sleep with him. The cops caught him. Yeah. It was a plan, but it was actually a police officer. But the thing, it had happened over time to actual actual kids, allegedly, because there are people that came forward, including the lady that you'll hear from tomorrow. She was seeing it going on. She didn't witness it, but she saw the grooming going on and everything in the what do you call it? The chat room. It was a medical chat room, and she describes it, and it was just mind blowing. She describes it on Susie's channel, but I just want my audience to hear it. And we do have a lot of crossover, but we also have people that are on my channel that are on hers and vice versa. We usually go live different times a day. So I want to just raise the volume and let everybody that hasn't heard it definitely hear her story. This is very important. Gina, the groups behind this MAPS movement, I want to throw up every time I say it, are trying quietly to move this disgusting behavior mainstream. It's horrific. It is. I agree. It's not right at all. Tina McBride never even knew who she was till the Goldie video. Oh yeah, she tried to capitalize on that. I helped her. You're talking about Michelle Carpenter. I helped her get to 1,000 subs. I helped her get her watch hours. I have texts from her like thanking me for helping her get monetized. And you know what? No good deed goes unpunished, because she was the puppet master behind this whole fucking movement of trolls. Now she's moved on to some other, whatever pet project, and I wouldn't let her make me her pet project. That's why she had no use for me. Sharona, I don't know how we got to a point where part of mental health is excusing behavior that's so harmful to others, especially children. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hey, Janet, I think all of this is why Mike Rinder did that series of hate videos on Aaron. I think he wanted to make Aaron look bad. After he died, he hoped no one would believe Aaron, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Well, guess what? There are lawyers involved now. There are people coming forward, and it's going to come to the surface, and I'm glad. It needs to. It really needs to. Jennifer Kelly, wait, what? Mike Rinder covered this up to his dying day? Allegedly? Yeah. Sharona, there's no minding your own business when the business is public on the internet. You bear all for the public people to see, hear, read. Anyone and everyone can have a prerogative to speak upon it. Thank you. Mic drop. Good job. I appreciate that. Because honestly, like sometimes just like when people ask me stuff like that, I was like, oh, I don't know. Oh my God, maybe I should just shut up and go away, But then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, I can't. I can't shut up. Especially when I see people getting hurt, It's okay. People don't want to speak about it, but don't tell people they can't speak about it, And I think there's no, yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with them about the MAPS thing. And I'm not gonna agree to disagree either. I think it's hurtful and harmful and dangerous. So yeah. Force of delightful nature. I wonder if some people who never spoke up are going to start now that Mike is gone and not gatekeeping. Justice for all. Yeah, amen to that. And we've seen shades of it, I'll say, because when the, called the flaptermath or the after flap or whatever happened, when, there was a huge schism, and even in this community, there were people that came forward. There was now all of a sudden, people felt more comfortable because I think that there was a kind of a stronghold and a real tightening down and controlling the narrative, which certain people, I've had videos about me for saying that one phrase, but people like Serge Delmar, he came out and he started talking on behalf of the children, and he was one of them. And so I was glad that he felt comfortable speaking out against this, and I hope he does more. I believe he's going to. So, Dylan, Michelle, yeah, she started the Discord. Oh my gosh, she's driving people crazy with her super chats promoting it. It was like she was just shoving it down everybody's throat, and then it turned out to be a vile cesspool. I'll say it. cesspool. They love when I call it a cesspool. Hey, Jimmy Zim Zam. I love that. I was hoping to catch a live. Hey, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Jenna, I checked out for a year, so this is shocking news. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't want to think badly of him. He died. I'm shocked and shares. Yeah, and you know what? Again, my heart goes out to his family. I'm not callous about it. And cancer is a terrible thing. And I have compassion. But at the same time, I have compassion on the victims too. And I want to see them have justice. So, yeah, I just want the truth, and I'm not saying for sure, I'm saying allegedly, but there's a lot of allegedlys going on that are pretty strong. So, I just hope the truth comes out. Janet, Marilyn, you're doing a good service. Never stop. Thank you, Janet. Northern Girl, he disappointed many, and there are still people who refuse to see even the proof. Sorry you're hurt. Yeah, it is hurtful. I cried so many tears when I realized what was happening and what people were saying and coming out with, and I saw some of the signs, and I think at some point, I've been thinking about it. It was over a year now, a year and a month, that Mike Rinder and I had quite a series of back and forth emails. And I was trying to appeal to him about the Aftermath Foundation, about the board, about some of the things I was seeing, some of the concerns. And his concern was to basically fair game and trash people and discredit them. And there were some things that dawned on me tonight that I remember from that email, those long emails. I mean, he would write me practically a novel. It would take me a while because I'm not a good reader. It would take me hours to read it. I have to ask some of the targets of some of these emails if I can share them at some point, but I think they might be helpful. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I did share some little little excerpts from it to, number one, to let poor Rabbit know that she was the dog in the story. In the letter from the lawyer, according to Mike Rinder, said that Rabbit was the dog. So yeah, wasn't that special? Yes, Serge is loud. He really is. He is very passionate. I got a lot of respect. A lot of respect for him. Northern Girl, he disappointed many, and there are still people who refuse to see even the proof. Sorry you're hurt. Yeah, I feel the same way. My Sharona, one of the most appalling things about Scientology is the abuse of kids, which is how so many of these people doing these things got subs and watch hours and recognition. Now they are standing with child abusers. Sick. Yeah, it is very sick. I agree. Sarah, now that Mike is gone, the floodgates are finally going to open. I just want justice for the victims, Hey, Itchy Thayans. Let me tell you something right now. I'm always up this late. I'm sometimes up on average till like, was it 9:54 here? Yeah, this is when I get started getting the brain fog going on, but I usually crochet a little bit at night. Doug and I will watch the news and different things. We pet the puppies. We have a little routine. So right now he's giving them a bath while I'm talking to you guys. And so I don't know, he'll probably end up going to bed because he goes to bed 11 o'clock every night on the dot. I'm usually up. Some of my friends that are online can tell you sometimes I pop in 1-2 o'clock in the morning. Usually by 2 I'm sleeping, but not always. But yeah, it is late. Constance, I have empathy for Mike being a second gen and being mistreated by Miscavige while also being upset on covering up SA and telling kids about not telling kids about the look back window. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, that does not make any sense, and he never answered for that. And that's wrong. Super wrong. Hey, Joel. So glad you're here, friend. Oh, this is more proof that there is evil among us, sadly, but we must do what we can to expose them. I'm proud of all who did this. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate that. Hey, Abraham. Good to see you. He chose not to acknowledge his actions or maybe inaction in this case. He could have addressed and admitted his shortcomings. No one is perfect, and we all understand that. Yeah. Yeah. He could have done it, and I mean, Aaron said over and over, he said, "Hey, all he had to do was to just address it and say, 'Hey, I'm sorry,' or something, anything to give some of the victims a voice or even just an interaction, some type of closure, something, especially Miriam. That was just awful how that was handled, in my opinion. I think it really was. Hey, Animal Audit Corner, good to see you. The way that Scientology protected child predators was so horrific that some of these celebrities carried on like it didn't even happen. It's so, yeah, exactly. And something that was said during that, it was a commissioner's meeting for the LAPD, that in Scientology, it's worse. Like if you can, our word, people, children, women, whatever, whoever, and that is excusable that they can quote handle that person, handle them, right? But if you report it, that will get you kicked out. That will get you disconnected from. That will get you court-martialed and all the things. All the things. So you can do the most horrific crime, like what Danny Masterson did. But the Jane Does that tried to report them were ostracized and mistreated and fair gamed. And even one of them had their dog poisoned. I mean, gross. That's horrible. It's horrible. And I hope they all are brought to justice. And I'm here for it. God says, I feel bad for Luis Garcia. If that foundation should be named after any ex-board member, it should be Luis. Even Aaron has said it was Luis's brainchild first and his baby. Yeah. But yeah, that's their prerogative. And yeah, I'll be honest, I did ask Aaron about that, and he said, fine with him. It'll all come out in the wash. So yeah, we'll see. He didn't say that. I said the wash part, but he said fine with him. Jenna, keep your kids' computers out in the living area. It's so important. Yes. That reminds me, I have asked our fabulous Stace Speria, very own Stace Speria, who has a lot of expertise in the whole internet, safety, social media universe, and she's agreed to come on and chat with me about that. She's hilarious and just so cute. She's adorable, and her voice is adorable, and you will love hanging out with her. She's awesome. So I can't wait to set that up. Sharona, yes, second gen, was allowed to finish high school, chose to go to Sea Org at 18. When that was that Mike Render? Wasn't a norm back then. According to Mike, Davey scoffed when Mike Render told him. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. Which one are you talking about? About Mike Render or Davey? Davey of the fake Space Navy. Northern Girl, nobody's speaking ill of the dead, but we can speak ill of the cover-ups that occurred while Mike Render was alive. Yes. Absolutely. That's, that's it. Yep. Hey, Poppy the Boxer. Hey, Vanessa. Looking forward to catching the stream, but my daughter came home sick. Aw. Well, family first, right? Definitely got sidetracked. I hope she feels better. Okay, start back now. Awesome. Yeah. Yes, thank you, George. I wanted you to put that up. You're literally no. See, even Jenna agrees. Jenna from Cali. Not true. Not true, Giorgio. And we got the camera. Awesome. John, looking forward to your gig. Oh, I missed that. And he got a hold of his granny. I love that. That is super sweet. Yep, line is drawn at 18. Lord Kiss Break, off topic. I'll let you know what SPTV Discord is still sending me like boat notifications. I don't know. I don't think there was an SPTV Discord. Oh, there's the safe space one. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get those. I don't know why. But I think it was just kind of set in motion. So I think you can opt out of it, but I don't know anything about Discord. That's like, yeah, not something I ever got super involved in. Oh, there he is. Okay, now I get it. You got a gig? Awesome. I thought I saw a question. Hey, Tiff 420, good to see you. Question, are Dave and Sherry the protesters? Oh, is that Suppressive Sherry and what's the other one? Dave something. Is that who you're talking about? Lord Kiss Freak is here. Awesome. And Anna's biscuits were burning. I love it. Kiss all our biscuits. Oh, is that the kissing of the biscuits? I love it. Kiss my biscuits. That's right. That's right. Just scrolling, see if I missed anything. Totally, Jersey. I always agree with you. And I always say, totally, Jersey. Agree. The whole attempt to use the acronym MAPS screams them trying to normalize their behavior. Yeah. Gross. No. Not having it. Don't like that at all. At all. Thank you. He's such a sweetheart. Hugs for anyone who's having a rough time. Yeah. Absolutely. Just scrolling, see if I missed it. Oh, I got more. Okay, we got some more. George Massey, is Rinder immune, but LRH is fair game? They are both answerable for their crimes. True that. Jenna, by the time we were ready to talk, so much time has gone by. Yeah. Northern Girl, there is no statute of limitations on SA or CSA in Canada. That's good. This should be a universal law. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Vanessa, absolutely, George. Mike Rinder may have done some good, but that doesn't mean he's immune from criticism of the bad things he's done. Yeah, I agree with that. Abraham, speaking truth about someone dead or alive isn't speaking ill, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're saying, I'm glad he did, like that would be me. That's not right. But yeah, just telling the truth. Yeah. Okay. Jenna, justice is so rare. I didn't get any calls. Yep, they do. They do. Agree with that. Just scrolling down. Trina, one of my biggest pet peeves is that when people die, they somehow become saints. Yeah. Yeah, and that's not really true. Joel, as this day comes to an end, let us all remember that kindness can save the world. Be the difference. Yeah, I love that. Well, I think that's a really good place to stop. And thank you, everybody, for being here. This was a tough one. I'm glad we did it, though. I'm glad we said it. There's a lot there. I guess moral of the story is, take care of your own skeletons before you go after people's tattoos, and don't defend PDF files, and don't take something that's completely horrific, heinous, and turn it into something that's acceptable. Not acceptable at all. So, okay, everyone. Thank you, Sharona. Thank you for covering tough subjects, especially while giving us a safe space to discuss. And that's what I really want to do. And thank you all for doing the same. So you're all a safe place for me. So thank you for being you. So all right. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna play my outro. It makes me happy to see my boys. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll see you 11 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Be there, be square. Bye. Xenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.